I'm sorry for this. Just give me a second, please.
Sorry, just to interrupt. What's the YouTube link, by the way, so I could also see it here?
Biju, could you share the link, please? I'm trying to get this sorted out. Yeah, I think now it's going. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's live now. Biju, is it okay? Ma'am, I think you can maybe just restart since you were somewhere at the beginning.
Okay. Wait.
Yeah, I can see your slides in step 1 on my YouTube. So yeah.
Okay. Is it okay now? How to make quizzes on Google Forms. So actually, I'm going to be sharing 2 screens. So, so after I show you the slide, I will actually go online to the Google Form myself to show you how to do it. So the first thing you have to do is to go to docs.google.forms, and this is what you will get. So I'm going to actually, you will get a list of forms, and then you usually you can choose any one you want, and we're going to choose blank quiz, and then we're going to start and devise the quiz. Okay. So let me just stop sharing here and go to let me just did I stop sharing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So let me just go to my okay, just a second. Okay, now I'm going to start sharing again by going, I'll just go to Google Docs, Google Forms, and then I will start sharing again. I'm sorry about this, but that's how it happens in Google Forms. Okay, so let me go to Google Forms. Okay. Okay, I'll start sharing the screen again, and I'll go to Google Chrome and share. So now you should be able to see a blank quiz. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to share, go to a fresh Google form. So I'm going to go to Google form here, and I'm going to, okay, so you can see this, right? So this is Google Forms, and this gives you the types of things that you can make, the templates that you have in the Google gallery. So let me start with a blank quiz first, which is the simplest one to do. So I'm going to start this blank quiz. Okay, so now I get blank quiz here. Let me give it some title. So as I give it a title will come here. So here I will give it a title, DFOT practice. Okay, and then I can select. So the first thing I can do is that I can select what type of question I want. So supposing I make it multiple choice, then I start typing in the question. So okay. So then I start typing in the question. So let us say that the question is, if, okay, let's give a simple question. What, oh, wait. What is the highest mountain in the world? Okay, so then I start my options. So the first one I can give is Kilimanjaro. Then I add another, so then I add another option. Okay, and that is Everest. Then I can add another option. that is Mont Blanc. And then I can add another option, and that can be K2. Okay. Okay. So now I've done this. After that, what do I do? After that, I go to answer key. Okay. And I give the right answer here. And I also give the number of points that I want for this question. So, so I'm giving 5 points for this question. All right. So that's done. So the first question is done. So then I can add another question. Now in this type of question, let me add a different type of question. So let me add something called a short answer question. Okay. So here I can write, who was the first Prime Minister of India? Okay. Now, a lot of people will answer this in different ways. So I can, the correct answer, I can either put the correct answer, Jawaharlal Nehru, but you know, somebody might just write Nehru. Okay. Or somebody might write Pandit Nehru. All of these are correct answers. So let me allow a few correct answers like that. And after that, I say mark all other answers incorrect. And then I go to the number of points here, and I can give 5 points for this. Then I can go to another question. I can add another question here. And for this question, let me try, supposing I want to do a numerical. So let me just add a some sort of numerical question to it. So what I've done is I've made an image of a numerical question. So I go to my, so I can upload that image. Okay, so sorry. I want a multiple choice question. What does it say? Not import question or add image. Okay. So let me add image. Okay, so I upload an image. Okay, and so an image that I could upload is this one. Okay, so I open this image. It's about the adjoint of a matrix. Okay, so I upload that image. So so there's the image title. So the image title is about matrix, about adjoints of matrices. Okay, and then I start adding the options. So what I can say is, in the image above, in the image above, what is alpha? Okay, and it turns out that alpha is actually 11. So I'll give some options. I'll give 7. Then I'll add an option 2, which I'll give as 11. Then option 3, I'll give as 3. And add option. So I'll give this as 3 and add option, and I'll give it as 4. Okay. So I'm done. Okay. And I can also make it that you have to answer this question. So I make it required, and I give an answer key, and I give it again. This one, maybe I can give more points to. So I give 10 points to this question, and this is the question. So here we have the quiz. All right. So after that, wait. After that, oops. Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I don't know what, where was, just a second. Something is going wrong with my screen. Okay, here was my quiz. Okay, okay. So then okay, so then I save it to my drive. So I've already imported a quiz. So I'm going to now this one. Okay. So this is my quiz. Unfortunately, something is wrong here. I should be able to.
Why don't you save this, Bindu?
Yeah, I'm saving it. So I have saved it. No, unfortunately, there is something wrong here. Wait a second. I have made the quiz here. I have made another quiz which I have saved, but it is interfering with my. Okay, so I've actually made another quiz. That's how you.
Yeah, this is your quiz.
Yeah. No, there's something that has gone wrong here. I'm sorry about this. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, fine. Okay, so then you have these, let me make it big. The point is that what was happening is that okay, now here, nothing has gone wrong. So the thing is that you can do many things with this. You can change your, you can add an image on top, okay, or you can change the background to some other color. You can change the background to this color, etc. So you can do that. Then you can, with this eye, you can see what the quiz will look like for the people who take the quiz, okay? And then you can go to settings, okay? In settings, you can either say that it is only to University of Hyderabad people, but I will not say that. I will limit it to one response. I will make it open. I don't require sign in, okay? I will collect the email addresses of the people who answer the quiz. I will send a response receipt, and I can see whether the respondents can edit and submit, or whether they can see the summary and charted responses. I usually don't do that, but you can, but because it's a one-time quiz, okay? So then after that, I go to quizzes here in the settings. I say, make this a quiz, okay? I say that release the grade, because the grades are given and it's all multiple choice. I can say immediately after each submission, and the respondents can see missed questions, correct answers, and point values. So let me do all that. So I save this quiz, okay? Then I can send this quiz. I can either send this quiz to my Google Classroom if I have one. But right now, first of all, I'm just going to send it to my other account, okay? So I'm going to send it to bambah@rediffmail.com, okay? And I'm going to, so you are invited to fill this form, and I'm including the form in the email, and I'm going to send it. Okay, then when I go to my Rediff Mail account here, I got the quiz. Okay. So here I've got the quiz. So I open the quiz and this is what comes to me. All right. So it comes to me like this. So then I start filling in. So my email address I'll give. So it's bbamba@gmail. So the student will give that. Okay. And then of course, the answer is Everest. So I'll put that. Who was the first Prime Minister of India? So I'll put, let me put, okay. Let me just put Nehru because it accepts that, right? I don't know that, but supposing you just put Nehru. And over here, I give the answer 11. Okay. And then I review, no, 11. Okay. Then I review, I say, send me a copy of the responses. Then I review and I submit. So I should have seen whether there is waiting for one response.
Okay.
You understand what I'm
Yeah, I think it's sort of pretty clear what.
Yeah, it's sort of clear what, and then I am trying to get it to send it, but for some reason it's, oh, okay, maybe I should just.
Why don't you review and submit?
Okay, so I can always fill out in Google Forms. Also, Everest, Nehru. 11. Send me a copy of the response.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and in that I have to now do crosswalk. So this is a trouble, right?
Let's not worry about this one now, Bindu.
Okay.
Because I think the overall procedure is quite clear.
Yeah, and also all the overall procedure is outlined in the slides also. So I'll stop share. Shall I stop sharing then?
You stop sharing this, but just when you complete your slides.
Okay. Just a second, huh? I'll just show you because I want to show you how it. I'm sorry. So these are procedures to make it really airtight. You know, they really go through a lot. Okay, so I'm supposed to put my email here. Okay.
Why don't you give a wrong answer in one?
Oh, now
okay, it doesn't matter.
Let's see, it's done. Okay, so now the response has come. And here's the summary of the response. So it tells me the score and it tells me all the right answers, etc. Okay. And I can also import the whole quiz to my Google Classroom. So for example, I have a Google Classroom in which case I can time the quiz and send it to a whole bunch of people. Okay. So what I do is I go to my Google Classroom. Wait a minute. Wait. Let me see. Google Classroom. I thought I had already. So I have a Google Classroom already, and this Google Classroom is called Introduction to High Energy Physics. Okay, and I have imported, so I can import, so I posted a new assignment quiz. So then what I can do is that I can take that assignment, I can import a new assignment to this Google Classroom. So I can import a new assignment. So I can create, okay, and I can create, and I can, okay, and then what I can do is I can add file from recent files. And so this was my blank.
So you can add one of the quizzes.
Yeah, so I can just add the file basically, and I can adjust the points, and then I can send it to students, all the students in my class. And I can also, in this case, I can also put a, I can put a due date. Okay, so I can put a due date. Say I want it 14th, and I can put a time, that is I want it by 4 p.m. Okay, and so and topic DF14, etc. So I can send it, and then I can choose. So I can choose any students. I can send it to one particular student. So let me send it to Abhishek, and then he will get it, and it'll come, and it'll be marked, etc. So that is basically, so that really is basically what this software does. And if so, there is not much else I can, wait, no, sorry. The rest I can just tell you in my,
Yeah, Bindu.
yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
No, the slides, if you have them ready. Yeah.
Okay. You want me to, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And then, then I think people can come back and look at various things. All right.
Okay. So here is the slide, and it basically goes through all, can you see the slide?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it basically goes through all the steps that I'm telling you. You can add points, answer feedback. You can mark any questions as required, as I just showed you. You can put equations in. This is the one I just showed you, right? And then you can go to settings and enable make this a quiz, and adjust the quiz settings to your preference, which I showed you. And then I can, so this is how it comes to my mailbox, which I also showed you, and we fill out the form, right? So then I filled out the form, and then you can have more versatile ones like this one. Let me just show you the slideshow here. So you can, here is a much more versatile quiz with a whole bunch of equations and things which you can put in by inserting images. You can make LaTeX images and insert them in, and so you can have that. And then the settings allow you email the quiz to the students. You can set the time limit if you set it through your Google Classroom, after which solutions will not be accepted. Okay, so they don't have a chance to copy. And so these were the settings that I showed you. And basically, then in the responses, they automatically get marked because the points are given. And you can also do it by manual marking. There is a setting for manual marking also, if you are asking to give long answers, or you can also upload the work that you've done. You can also have there is a upload section where you can, all the work that the students have done to get the answers to the questions, which will be, of course, more complicated than the ones that I framed here. That can be done. So this is, and also once all the students are graded in Google, if you import it to Google Classrooms, then what will happen is it will also automatically form a table and all the grades will be entered. So you can have a grade equivalent to the marks in Google Classroom.
Okay.
So this is basically what Google Forms does. I hope I've given some flavor of what it does.
We'll come back to the Q&A, Bindu. So for the moment, I think it's been very, very instructive. I've learned a lot, certainly. No. It's sort of watching you go through with it was also instructive in its own way. Let's, now we'll just switch gears and go over into Moodle with Samir Sapra. And we'll have a similar discussion on Moodle. And then when we come back, we'll have questions for both of you in the Q&A section. Thanks again, Bindu. And over now to Samir.
Thanks, Ram. So I'll just share my screen. Yeah. Is it visible? Hello?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, we're all on mute. So,
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes.
So once, just let me know if it's visible, then I go ahead.
It's
yeah,
visible.
it is visible.
All right.
Thank you.
So once you log into Moodle, what you get is whatever courses you've registered under Moodle. So for example, I'm teaching some of these courses over here. So everything comes on the dashboard. So let's go to one of these courses. And it's got all these time frames, so we'll not worry about that. But look at the bottom left over here. There's something called a question bank. Okay, and you go into the question bank and then go to questions. Okay, over there, what you need to do is you could select a category. So you could make various categories. So these are kind of folders, right? Categories are nothing but folders, as in a Windows system or something. So you make your various categories, and then you create a new question in that particular folder. So there are loads and loads of these types, and there are many more. IIT Delhi has subscribed to some of them, but you can keep on adding more and more whenever you feel like. The one that I'm going to tell you about today is this embedded answers close, which is the simplest one. The next one I'll talk about is calculated, which is a bit more involved. And one last question, which I've not put in the slides, is the long type, a description type. Okay. So this description type has to be checked manually. It can't be done automatic. The other, so essay or description. So this is the one which has to be done manually. So looking at the embedded one, so you just add it. I won't add it now. I've already done something. Close a example, for example. I go to this cogwheel. That's the edit option. So this is what you'll get. You put in a question name over there. Then you type the question. Over here, you have a lot of options. You want to, some edit options, format options and all. And there's also the equation editor for those of you who are not familiar with LaTeX. You could use directly LaTeX instead of the $. What you use is to use a slash open bracket, and to end you use a slash close bracket. Unfortunately, Moodle is very sensitive about the syntax. So if anything goes wrong, it doesn't tell you exactly what has gone wrong, but it cribs. It doesn't go let you allow to go beyond a point. So some, for example, in this closer type of questions, what you have is the first one I've given you is a numerical question. So the value of pi correct up to 2 decimal places is open curly brackets. 1 is, this is the number of points that you want to give for this question, colon. The type of question, so it's numerical. You have to write this full thing in capitals. Although Moodle says you can write in small, but somehow it doesn't accept for me. Then another colon. Then you put equal to before your correct answer. Okay. You can also put, well, I've asked for 2 decimal places, but if you want, you can put a tolerance, which means 0.01. So 3.15 is also acceptable, and 3.13 is also acceptable. If you want, you can put a tolerance, okay, by putting another colon like that. The other one is select the correct option. So now you want to give 3 points for this. It's a multiple choice which will be displayed vertically. So there are two options, vertically or horizontally. Also, there's a possibility of shuffling it, multiple choice shuffle S. So I'm not going into that one. It's okay. You want to shuffle, choose another type of question. There's a straight multiple choice question. You can shuffle in that one. So RR is the VC of HCU. That's the first option. Tilde brings the second option. RR is the professor at JNU. Tilde equal to RR is a visiting professor at ITD. So wherever there's equal to, that's the correct answer. Okay, you can have equal to in multiple places, as I show in the next one. So if you want, you can also give a feedback by placing a hash. So if the student answers the correct one, then you also get this feedback good show. Okay, whatever you want to put, you can put over there. The third question is a short answer type question. Okay, and this is more like the Jawaharlal Nehru or Pandit Nehru. So two equal to signs you can see. Delhi or New Delhi, both are acceptable. Okay, so you can put a general feedback also, which the students can see. And if you're doing it for online confidence building or something, you can allow for multiple tries, where you'll have penalty for each try. But whatever you want to give, you can give over here. For a quiz, for an exam, I don't use multiple tries. I don't have to worry about tags or all these things. Just save changes. Okay. Once you've saved the changes, you come back and want to preview the question. You can preview it with this lens. And this is what it looks like. Okay. Enter whatever you want to. Okay. I want to see the feedback, and I want to see, well, let's see if it supports non-caps. Okay. Now, submit and finish. All right. Now it doesn't show you anything, and that is because I've excised some options over here. Display options not shown, marks and maximum marks. Okay. Whether correct is not shown, specific feedback not shown, general feed, nothing is shown. Essentially, you want that for an exam, but if you want to just do it for your own sake, you can say shown. You can say shown right answer. You can give specific feedback. Well, you can make everything shown. And update display options. Okay. And now you see it's showing me that this is the wrong answer. This is the correct answer. Good show. Delhi. Doesn't matter whether it's caps or small, it gives me. And it's telling me mark 2 out of 2. Okay. Mark 3 out of 3 and 0 out of 1. Okay. Now, the bad thing about this is that it's not specific to one question. Okay. All your questions start to show up with these options. So this is a universal declaration over here. All these options are universal. So make sure that you put it to not shown before you give a quiz to the students. All right. So this is pretty much about the 3 types of questions that you can do. So instead of having many options, you could have just 2 options like true and false. So this is the very simplest thing you can do. Okay. Then the other one, create another question, which is the calculated type, is the other question that I wanted to tell people. So I've calculated example over here. I edit this again. Okay. So I give some name. Okay. This name is not visible to the students during the quiz. So you can give whatever descriptive name you want to. Now, the question is very simple one over here. Area of a triangle of base B centimeters and height h centimeters is dash centimeter square. Okay. So I want how many marks? I want to give 1 mark for this. What is the answer? The formula is given as half base into height. give it 100% grade. There's a tolerance of 0.01, which is relative. I can make it nominal, which means plus minus 0.01 to the answer. Relative would be more like a percentage. I can give a feedback. I don't normally give feedbacks for exams, but for for teaching, yes, I do give feedbacks. You can also do units, and I'll not go into those details. For those of you who want to try that, you can try different units. So many different units you can be handled at the same time. Okay, so there I'm just showing the very simple things which can enable people to go ahead and make the question. Okay, once you've done this, so what you have in curly brackets over here are variables. Base is a variable, height is a variable. So it's going to give you different values of base and height for different students. Okay, so now I go save changes, and it says wildcard is B and wildcard is H. And there are many options, but we'll just stick to use the same existing private data set as before. I don't want any other option to be used. Do not synchronize. I don't want to synchronize with any other data set. Okay. Any other question, don't worry. So I'll just use do not synchronize. Next page. The value of wildcard B, it's given some random number. The minimum value I want is 1 and the maximum I want is 10. And the decimal places that I want is 1. So that's how it will vary. I want a uniform or a log distribution. I can check that. Then the second wildcard is something 4.1. Again, minimum, maximum values. Decimal places, you can select whatever number of decimal places. Want a uniform distribution again. For one of these values which is given on top, here's the answer. And here are the limits of the answer that it shows you. Okay. You can add more items. I've already created 100 sets. Okay. You need to create at least one set. Then it won't be random anyway. But if you create 100 sets, then it'll be random. And it's displaying only one set. You'll have to add 100 sets. And now we'll have 200 sets, I guess. Okay. So I have 100 sets. So I have display, I can display 100 sets. Display it. And now you can just see all the sets that you have. So 6.3, 9.5, you can see the correct answers. You can see all this. Okay. So once I've seen all these things, I go all the way down, save changes, and then I can preview the question for this calculated example. And I'll give some answer over here. Okay, it won't allow me to check because I have not given those options to check. Okay. Now, if you want, you can again see whether your answer is correct or not. Okay, that's just for your preview. So you can fill up and submit. And so right now it's 5 and 6.2, but I close and I do a preview again. And it's 8.8, 9.6. So for each student, well, if you have 100 students, then it will create 100 random, some random sets, but it will be different numerical values to different students. Okay. So these are the two question types. And then for upload, if you're doing these kind of quizzes where you have multiple choice and all, I prefer that they also write in pen and paper and upload everything. So I create this long answer type question. Essay type question, which I showed you over here. Okay. So this is an upload question. All they need to do is to upload a file. Okay. Scan and upload a single PDF file. Okay. Whatever file you want, I preferred a PDF file so I can choose all different kinds of files that are there. I just chose a PDF file. So you just save changes over there, and then you can see this is how.
What was the question in this case?
There's no question. It's just that they have to upload the PDF file.
Okay.
But this is the type of question?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the essay type.
Okay. All right.
So you see, this must then be graded manually.
Okay. All right. No. I was just, clarifying.
Yeah.
There's an upload option in Google Forms for what you've done.
Yeah, exactly.
So that type.
So that's that type. So you can put a 0 mark for this, but they have to upload. Otherwise, you don't match it with their ticked questions. So then you get to know that they have actually worked through. So for example, I say, if you just write true or false, you don't get any marks, but I have to see it. I have to see the reason. Okay. So these are the 3 kinds of questions which, you could essentially do most of the things. And then you want to be fancy, you could try many, many more options that are here. It's actually very powerful. And also one has to then, pattern matching, for example, recording types questions. So you can have some sound recording. Even students can record things. If you are interested, stack is another very powerful thing where you have a complete data set which you can use. I'll not go into all those details, but if you are really keen, go and look through it. You'll have to spend a lot of time, definitely. But with these kind of questions, most of us can, I think, manage our work. And okay, so that's pretty much about making the questions. Once you've made the question, there's another thing, you can import questions, but you have to write in a particular format. The good thing is you can export all these questions. So you can export it, you can take it somewhere, you can give it to your friend, you can use it in your next next course or something. So once you've made a question, it's there for life. Okay. So once you're done with this question, you've made a lot of questions, and keep making them during the course. So every day you get a new idea, you make a question. Okay. Now go back to the same dashboard. Okay. And do something called turn editing on. And now you can add an activity or resource anywhere you feel like. There are these different time slots, December to 2nd January. You can do it anywhere. Don't worry. I prefer to do it at the end. I just add an activity so I add an activity or resource. I want to add a quiz. Now quiz is an exam, right? So I add that quiz. So let me just see this dummy exam which I created for today. So this is what I added. Okay. I have not added any questions yet. Okay, let me go back. Before I do that, let me show you once you add what comes. Once you add, something comes, you write whatever exam name you want to go. Okay, this is the one that I've given in the slides. Display description on course page. Yes, you would like to. Now, these are things which I have not given on the slide. Timing. Okay, you want to enable some timing. You want to enable some closing time, open time, whatever. You might even want to have a time limit. Like, you want to open it at 9:30 and close it at 11 o'clock, so that if some latecomer is there, it comes. But you want to give 2 hours, so you could do that. So if somebody starts at 9:30 to 11, so you want to give 1 hour. Okay, you can change the time and all. So somebody who starts a bit late still gets 60 minutes. Somebody's allowed to come 30 minutes late also. So these are things which you can do. I don't want to tick it right now. Okay. Open attempts are submitted automatically. You can do grace period and all. Okay. Grade, you don't really need to worry about this. You can decide later on. Layout, you want new question on every page. Every page has a new question. So 1 question per page. You can do lots of other things also. Show more. Navigation method. Now this is something very interesting. I usually use free navigation method, which means a student can jump from question 1 to question 10, come back to question 2, come back to question 1, and there's a possibility of sequential, which is very harsh on the students. So after they do 1, they have to do 2, 3, 4, and they can't come back. So it's up to you how you wish to do it.
But this is a global setting, Samir. It cannot be done partially, meaning you can't have to answer question 6 after 5, but all the others can be done in.
This is for 1 quiz.
Okay.
So for the other quiz, you can have other setting.
Okay.
Okay. So shuffle within questions. You want to shuffle the questions. Okay. Feedback. I usually prefer deferred feedback. I don't want to give the feedback immediately during an exam. So I'm not giving multiple attempts, so it doesn't make any sense. Now, this is something very important, and since Moodle was built for, ongoing evaluation, so they tick everything over here. I just remove everything. I don't want them to see anything while they're doing the quiz. And after the quiz, well, I have not given any time. Maybe I should give some time. Enable. And initially, I would give just the attempt. Okay, once I'm satisfied with the answers, I can go back and change and, show them the marks, whether correct, the right answers, feedback, whatever I want to do. But initially, I will start with this. Now, the good thing about Moodle is you can always change the question and regrade also. Okay. So if you've made a mistake in the answer, or if you have an alternate answer, so you can add on that answer, like 2 correct answers, and then again regrade the entire class. All right, appearance, show users. I mean, this is okay. So this is not really important. You can leave that. Required password, if you want, you can make a password for each user and give it to him, or make a common password, whatever. Now there's something very interesting over here. It says browser security. This is like, if I don't use anything because I don't know what students are facing, but you can have a full screen pop-up, which means they'll not be able to switch over to any other screen during the exam. Okay. So I don't use any attempts. Required network address. Yeah, if you're doing online, it makes sense, but otherwise not. Overall feedback, you want to give something. The rest of the things are not really required. Okay, so you can just skip all that. Okay, save and return to course, or save and display, whatever you want to do. So display means it will display to the students. Okay, now I go back to the dummy exams. I want to add some questions, so I'll edit the quiz. Now I can add a question over here from a question bank. I can also create a new question, but I've already made some questions in the question bank. So for example, I had a calculated example. I take this question, which is from something. Okay, I have my close example. All right, I'll add all these. I can even select everything and add whatever. Add selected questions to the quiz. Here it tells me whatever marks are there, 6, 6, 12, and 113. Later on, I'll have to correct the maximum grade over here. Okay. The next thing I want to add is a random question. Now this is something, add a random question. This is something very interesting over here. For example, I can go to something from quantum, true or false. Okay. Now, how many random questions I want to add? I've already created these questions. I think there are 8 questions. So let me say 3 of them. So it will randomly pick any 3 questions for a particular student. And for another student, it will pick another set of random questions. So I just put that, and it's got 1 mark. So total is 16. I'll change this to 16. And I'll save this quiz. Okay. Now the quiz is saved. I can still edit the quiz. That's not a problem. So once I've saved the quiz, I just go back to my home page and go over there. Okay. Now the whole problem is that the time is wrong. So I can't do anything. It's closed. So I'll go back and edit the quiz, correct the time, so I can show you the preview of the quiz. Dummy quiz, edit, settings. What's the time now? 3:59. So let's make it 16:52. Okay, not a problem. Save and display. Now I can preview quiz now. It tells you all this. It has 1 hour. Start attempt. Okay. So area of triangle, whatever I want to write. Okay. Next page. harmonic oscillator and rigid rotor. So must use. So this is something which you should give if you are using calculated things. So useful information must use these values. Otherwise, and I'm asking them to calculate up to 3 decimal places. So whatever it comes out to 0.235 something. Well, I'm filling in all wrong answers. At least this one I know is the correct one. So I get some marks for this quiz. Okay. Next page. One can simultaneously measure momentum and energy. Okay. Size 0 at nucleus for all hydrogen atoms stationary state. False. Okay. One-dimensional harmonic oscillator can be degenerate. False. All right. Finish attempt. So I have finished. I still have not submitted, so I can go and return. I can see all my attempts, whatever I have made. So this is what is the free navigation method. Okay. And so I can just go to the last page and finish attempt and then submit all and finish, submit all and finish. That's it. Now it doesn't show me any answers right now. Okay. So I'm done. Okay. So now if I really want to see the answers, I'll have to go back to the quiz. Yeah. So edit these settings. Somewhere where the correct marks, right answer, let's say. Save and display. Okay. An increase in the particle would decrease the ground state. Okay, whatever. I'm not even looking at the questions. I'll just submit and finish. Okay. So now once the quiz is closed, I'll be able to see my answers. So finish review. Okay. Summary of my previous attempts. It's just showing. I can review it again, but it will not show me till 1 hour. So let me go and change the, okay, let me do it in another window. So let me just go and change the time of this fellow. Edit settings. Timing, because I just want to show you that, so it's 1603. So let's make it 1603. Save and display.
Don't sweat over it. I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
no. These are the times when it never works exactly as you do.
no, so changing all these times during a quiz can make things crash.
Yeah,
So
I do understand.
this is something we've been forewarned about. So don't change the quiz while the students are taking the exam. But yeah, so you can see your answers, and yeah, so that's possible. So that's pretty much about it. And once you've done everything, then automatically everything is graded except for the manual questions, of course.
Yeah.
So you can go back and, for example, I had this dummy quiz for the students. 267 of them attempted. I just go over there and I can see all their attempts. So whatever question was there, I mean, these were just dummy things. So some very simple questions which I had given them. Still, some of them could manage to get it wrong, of course. Okay. So you see all the students listed, they get all their total grades, and I can then see exactly what everybody has done. I can open up the question, see that And if I had the uploaded version over here, this was dummy, so I did not need to upload. So then I can always see what they've written. So that's pretty much about it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Samir. I think, this one can see that Moodle is fairly powerful, and it can do a lot of things that we need in different subjects as well. I'm now going to turn it over to Madhu, who has a bunch of questions that have come in on the YouTube chat. And if there's any on the Zoom chat who would like to ask questions, please, Madhu, would you summarize all of these?
Yeah, the first question is, can an individual have a Moodle account, or is it an institute which needs to have an institutional license?
So so individual can have a Moodle account. Up to 50 students is free.
Okay.
If you want beyond that, and then if you want to host it somewhere, then you of course have to pay.
Okay. So do you have any experience in comparing the two?
No. So for us, it's institutional. So I don't even know how to install one for myself.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The second one is for the Google Classroom, ma'am. What is the maximum number of students in a Google Classroom in the free version?
Bindu?
Is Professor... Yeah, I don't even see her here.
Bindu? Okay.
So I know about
Yeah,
Google
please.
Meet, it's 100.
Okay.
So I don't know about Classroom, but Google Meet is 100. We could just Google it quickly.
I think it's 50, but yeah.
Google Meet, it's 100. So Classroom, I don't know.
A few more questions for Moodle. One is what is the method to add bulk questions?
So yeah, there are some import options, but and somebody has also Biju.
Yes,
Biju has
Preeti.
so there is some GIFT. I don't know about it, but so I have not added any bulk questions, but you can write these questions in Notepad. So and in plain text format, which means if you know LaTeX, then of course you can use that also. Once you've done that, there is a way of importing it. So I have not tried that. I just make my questions one by one.
So if I'm not mistaken, the icon format is where you have a specific way to
So exactly, that's the name.
and a colon and
Exactly. So that's it.
and I think the alphabet, etc.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, okay. I think the point that she's trying to make is the following: that in Moodle, uploading of single questions is very different from bulk uploading of questions, where for the bulk you need to have a specific format, and
there's a syntax. There's a syntax, and there are videos. I mean, they explain it well, but I've never tried this format.
Okay.
So uploading, yeah.
You were mentioning. Yeah, go ahead, Ram.
No. Bindu suddenly got disconnected. So she's going to try to come back on. Right?
Okay.
I'm just telling you. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So Sai has mentioned that the icon format.
Yeah, icon format. I don't know. Sai,
he says it's only for MCQs.
It's okay.
I'm not familiar with it, but I've seen there are some formats.
Yeah. So Sai Preeti, do you want to go live and say something? Want to?
Yeah. Hello. Madhurima. Yeah. Icon format can be used only for MCQs, but if you want to add the other type of questions, you will have to use the GIFT format, or as Biju was saying, or you have the other formats, the XML Moodle format, which are a little difficult to write, script wise. But they are very good. Once you have made us bulk questions, it's very good because you can do this random way of giving questions on quizzes. That way it helps a lot.
And this nomio.com that you were mentioning?
Yeah, suppose your university does not host Moodle and someone still wants to use Moodle, they can create their own site on genomio.com, and it is just a cloud, but you have to just, everything else is Moodle. So someone has created that. You can just put your site. It's very safe and you are your own administrator also. You
Okay,
can
would
add
you,
any number of questions, students also.
Sai Preeti, would you please put this information on Slack for all of us?
Sure, sir. I'll do that, sir.
That would be good, huh?
Sai,
Sure,
could you also just type it over here? It will be nice to share this information. Genome.
Yeah, it's Genomio. It is
It's in the
www.
chat. So
Yeah.
just
Okay.
Maybe only one concern there in Genomio. We don't have a control over the advertisements that has
Yes.
been, yeah.
Yes, you don't have a control over the advertisements, and you cannot install any new plugins to it.
Okay.
You have to use whatever they give you, but they give you quite a lot of them.
It's a small price to pay for, you know, when your institution doesn't give you, then I don't mind advertising McDonald's or somebody. I mean, it doesn't matter.
that's right. And the other question was about the close format that you were mentioning even in the last panel discussion.
Right.
CLOZD.
Yes.
Closey.
Yeah. I discussed the closure format only.
Okay. So would you want to elaborate on that, or because that was the other thing that can you say a bit more about the closing format?
Just a moment. So the question that I made, the example that I showed actually. So let me share my screen once more.
Yes, please.
Right. Visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the closure format. And we have a possibility of numerical, multiple choice, and short answers over here.
Okay. Okay. This is.
Well, of course, if you want a numerical, I would rather say go for the calculated one. But if you know, if you want an easy numerical and with not much fancy things around, then closure is much simpler.
Sai Preeti is asking if you could add pictures to the
Oh
closure
yes,
format.
sure. So here, if you see this fellow, insert or edit images. So you can. Let me show you one question with the pictures. So, well, I don't add much pictures, but over here, my organic guys and inorganic fellows, they prefer a lot of pictures over here. Don't ask me what they mean, okay?
I'm back on. If
Thank you, Bindu.
Okay.
Well, I'll have to just see somewhere, yeah, for example. Right? So you can add pictures for all the options also. Well, in closer, yes. In the others, you can definitely.
Okay. Other than question bank, what are the other options available in Moodle for assessment and quizzing?
So one is free format. I mean, just write something and submit it. Scan and submit. And there's also, if your students are good at LaTeX and all, then they can type all formulae and everything. Otherwise, yeah, the essay type, for example, this one, they can type in things. Or they can upload files. There's also this recording where I don't know how good it is, but they can. There's a possibility of voice recognition.
That is maybe with a licensed version.
Well, I'm not sure about that since IIT Delhi does subscribe. So.
Okay. Devashish, would you want to ask the question directly?
Yeah. Shall I?
Yeah.
Stop sharing now or
yeah,
okay.
You can stop sharing.
I can share again. Yeah.
Devashish, come on, please.
Okay, his question is in the chat. It says, is the question bank institutional, that is created by your colleagues at IIT Delhi?
No, it's not. It's individual, but you can share it.
I mean, in Moodle, you have to give access as a co-teacher or some such thing?
So yes, so there are various levels, teachers, tutors, many levels. And that drives me really crazy about Moodle. So, there's just too much.
That's right.
So, and you can give, you have to choose each and everything and give access to everybody. So what actually, I don't have to do that, luckily, because our administrator over here, he gives access to teachers differently and students different. So I don't really have to worry about it. But yeah, you can, if you want, you can add more colleagues of yours as teachers. For example, this particular course, which I was showing you, there are 3 instructors over here. So all of us have equal rights. The other thing about Moodle is that you can export all your questions using the XML format. So it exports as an XML file, and then you can re-import it somewhere. So
that's
right. So you can re-import it, you can give it to your friends. So everything, all that thing is possible.
No, but when you were showing this question bank, if you have access to somebody else's, you must be a co-tutor on their course.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, I don't have access. All of us have equal rights. The other thing about Moodle is that you can export all your questions using the XML format. Right, right. So it exports as an XML file, and then you can re-import it somewhere. So that's right. So you can re-import it. You can.
Why am I hearing an echo?
Yeah, me too. Somebody's recorded and playing it.
Yeah, somebody is recording and replaying the entire thing. Somebody else's, you must be a co-tutor on their.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, I don't have access.
Sorry, today is hilarious. Okay, can you prepare your questions in LaTeX?
Yes.
Okay, that's again.
Oh, the only thing about there are some differences, subtle differences. For example, you don't use the $. Instead of that, what you use is slash and curly round bracket to open your equation, and a slash and close round bracket to close the equation. And then I think in the answer, especially, raised to the power is not used, not given by a caret sign, but it's given by POW, curly bracket, the base and the exponent. So there are some subtle differences which I know of. There might be more. So, but if you there's a very good help Google Moodle help page, so one can always go there and look. But yeah, any slight error in the syntax drives you crazy. So last time I sat for about 2 hours trying to decipher one wrong placement of a bracket. That's all.
That's fine. There are a couple of questions from YouTube chat. The first one is, stack represents which information? It's been typed into the Zoom chat too for your reference.
That's not for Moodle. I think that's they're asking about the Slack channel.
Okay. It's not Slack, is it? Okay, we'll answer that.
Slack.
Maybe they meant the Slack.
Oh, no. Stack is Moodle. Stack is Moodle, sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't used Stack, so I cannot say much about it. But the idea is that you create a huge data set in Stack and randomize things. But I have not used it, so I won't comment much. I mean, if Sai or Biju, somebody knows, they can perhaps comment.
How to link a Zoom WebEx class schedule with Moodle?
No idea.
I think Moodle has a Zoom plugin right now, if I'm not mistaken.
So Moodle has some plugins. IIT Delhi uses Imparters.
So you have to look at your license and what plugins are available. The other thing is, for a beginner, especially a beginner teacher to Moodle, what would be better, to go with assessment or with quizzes?
So what I see is that Moodle, last time, I forget the name. Professor Paran, no. Sarangapani, Professor Sarangapani. She said that it's a very good ongoing evaluation tool. So as you are going through the course, Moodle is really useful, and then it keeps on building onto what you've learned. So that way Moodle can be very useful, powerful. And then of course you can use it for the final exam. So assessments and everything.
Any
right.
more questions, Madhu?
Not much, except if Professor Bambah would like to answer that previous one about what's the maximum number of students.
I don't
But
see her
again, I don't
again.
see her again. So that's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's about it as far as, let me just have a quick look if I've asked all the questions.
Yeah.
There was just a comment that, Moodle can be used for peer-peer assessment, which works very well with good rubrics. So if you want the students to evaluate fellow students' work, Moodle is much more useful.
Okay.
But that was a comment. That's it.
Achha.
And another comment which says big blue button, which is a plugin that's available to interface Zoom or WebEx with Moodle.
Okay. So on that note, why don't we wind up today's session? Madhu, let me thank both Bindu and Sameer.
There is somebody saying something. I'm sorry.
Ram, may I ask a question?
Of course, Debashish. We were expecting you earlier. Go ahead, please. Debashish?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Do the students need to create a Moodle account?
Now we can't hear you, Debashish.
To answer, do the students need to have a Moodle account?
Sameer?
Well, this is something I'm not sure of. See, the administration is taken care by our web administrators here, so I really don't know. But yeah, they're all added on to Moodle, so definitely they have a login.
I can help in this question.
Yeah, please. Thanks.
Yeah. Whoever's asking the question, I'm not sure. See, once a Moodle account has been created, the administrator or the teacher can register all of them onto the course or to the platform. You will require their name and their email addresses. This much requirement, you can add anyone to the to your Moodle course.
Does that clarify, Debashish?
Yeah, he says thanks on the chat. And there is one more question from YouTube where they're asking for middle school and high school, which would be preferable, Google or Moodle?
I think Google is okay for middle school for that level, because you don't have to have complicated diagrams and all that. So you can just, and so it's very easy for middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we are done with the questions on the chat.
All right. Thank you so much, Bindu, and thank you, Sameer. It's been a great learning experience today. Let me just repeat what I had said when we started out. This is an ongoing engagement, so we'll come back and have more workshops on these kinds of softwares like Moodle, Google Forms, and also we are going to have Examineer 2 weeks from now. And if there are other kinds of assistance that people need, please write in to us at default. And Madhurima, Biju, and others will be more than happy to try to help. And in fact, if we need to create a special module on training teachers in one or the other of these softwares, I think that we'd be quite happy to do that. With that, let me thank all of you for being here today. And let me also advertise that next week, we'll have a group of administrators coming in to discuss what are the roles and responsibilities of administration when it comes to online teaching. So the panel discussion for next Sunday, and until then, see you all the next
Just
week.
a second. I'm sorry I lost you in the middle. My connection went, but I will be posting a set of more informative videos on the Slack channel.
Oh, Thank you so much, Bindu.
So-
And thanks again, Samir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been
Cheers.
a great learning
Thank
experience.
you all.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye for now.
Bye.